Okay, today is September 30th, 2018, and right now at 8 p.m., we have a temperature of 73 degrees here in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is only 34% right now. Currently, we have a hurricane heading right towards Southern California. This is actually a tropical storm now. Rosa. This was a Category 1 storm all day today, and the storm has been targeted with either a microwave or laser. We can see that the storm is being pushed to the northeast. And we'll take a look here at the floater map here in a second, but basically what's happening is that this storm is being steered away from moving into Southern California. Today we had some of the first bands moving in this morning of this hurricane, this former hurricane, and we had some beautiful cumulonimbus development in the sky today, yet there was zero thunderstorms. We had no rain, no thunderstorm activity, despite these massive rising columns of air, these cumulonimbus columns of rising air, beautiful clouds. We very rarely have natural clouds in the skies any longer. Okay, so the storm here is being pushed away. There's actually high pressure installed on this side of the storm. If we take a look at the floater map right now, the rainbow map, this is the infrared map, we can see that the high pressure is right in this area, and that is right up against the eye wall, which was right here. We can see that the high pressure right here is pushing this storm away from California. So it's being directed in a northeast pattern. And we can take another look here at the western U.S. water vapor loop. We've got also a dual low pressure, two low pressures right here, two of them, and one is 1,004, the other is 1,002. We've got the frontal system of this dual low moving into central California. There is no rain in this area. We'll have to take a look here at the Doppler map. We're looking at this is eastern and southern California right here, San Diego. We've got Arizona in this area, and look at the WSR 88D chopping up the precipitation. All these dry, these straight edges here, these are points where the microwave transmitter has evaporated the precipitation. All these triangulate to a point right near Yuma. There is a Marine Corps base training center down here. I believe it is right in this area. These points all converge at that location where there is a WSR 88D. Now, as we pan around into California, we see that near Interstate 10 and the Palm Springs area, we have some severe, it looks like thunderstorms going on right there. Now, if we zoom out, we can see that not much else happening in California. Offshore of San Francisco, we've got some rain showing up right here. And the Pillar Point transmitter, which is located right there at Mavericks, that's a famous surf spot, Mavericks, which is, I believe, right about here. Now that transmitter, that's a giant radome, and that is obviously chopping up and evaporating the moisture in this area right here. So these WSR 80Ds are very effective at the ground level. If we go back and take a look at the satellite map, see, we should be having rain all through here. This is just this is criminal behavior, criminal activity. If we go back to the big map here, we see we've got opportunities for rain from this system here, Rosa, Tropical Storm Rosa, and we also have, like I said, this dual low pressure system, which has a frontal system swinging in, and yet there is zero rain in the central and southern California area, except for the eastern California desert area shown down here. Okay, so no rain in the forecast for Los Angeles despite a hurricane heading our way, or a tropical storm, former hurricane. All right, here's the big map. This is a tropical storm moving west away from the Hawaiian Islands. I think this has 65 mile per hour winds. We've got another storm developing right down here in the eastern Pacific. Now let's take a look at the hurricane map right now. This is Sergio with 65 mile per hour winds. This is moving west at 12 miles per hour with 998 millibar central pressure. We've got Rosa with central pressure of 989 millibar. This storm was a Category 4 just a couple of days ago, and it's been beat down with these satellite transmitters. It's now moving northeast at 12 miles per hour. This was heading north the last couple of days. We see that the winds have diminished to 65 miles per hour. Now, if we look at the cone track for Rosa, get this thing to work. Yeah, it's going to move right into Arizona. And there's no rain forecast for the Los Angeles area. Now, currently, this storm is generating 25-foot surf right in the center currently. So the good news is the south-facing beaches in Southern California will get some fairly large surf from Tropical Storm Rosa. The bad news is that we're not getting any rain because we have terrorists controlling our weather, superheating the cumulonimbus development here in the area, which is preventing the lift and preventing the thunderstorm activity. Here we see the surface analysis map. We've got the hurricane or the tropical storm right here indicated. We've got these dual low pressures that should be moving in to deliver rain. We've got a trough shown, unstable air right here, and a high, 1016 millibar high, and a trough right over to the east. So we've got weather right here moving, should be moving in, and this storm is being blocked and redirected out to the north east. So looking here at the southwest water vapor loop, we can see a blast pattern right there on Rosa, right there. We've got high pressure installed in this area, which is redirecting all that moisture. Looking at the IR map, we see a big gap here between the system out in the East Pacific that we were just looking at, that dual low pressure. You see water vapor moving in, yet there's no rain here on land in Central California. Once again, take a look at the map right in this area. There's no rain. How can that be? Well, they're spraying the hell out of the people up there. These jets are out spraying these chemtrail aerosols. That stops the rain, and it lowers the relative humidity. We've had chemtrail spraying here today. Like I said, we have 34% relative humidity right now, and the barometer is reading 29.85. So the pressure is down slightly, as we should expect from an approaching former hurricane. Look at that hurricane map once again. I believe that was 989 millibar right here. Yep. Okay, so the pressure should be dropping as this storm approaches, and typically we see the pressure rise as high pressure is installed to redirect and deflect the storm away from Southern California. We see these cells all moving into Arizona. So there is a little bit of rain out here in Eastern California and near Palm Springs. Here is the western U.S. infrared map. We see all that high pressure installed on this side of the storm right here. If we look at the pressure maps here in a second, we're going to see some interesting stuff happening at the 300 millibar level. These squiggly lines and the isobars right around the center of this storm, they should all be smooth, flowing isobars, but that's not what we see. We're going to show that here. Let's take a look at the MODIS Today map. This is the color satellite map for today, showing the approaching storm. You see some natural water vapor here in the map. We see the brilliant white, which is the natural water vapor laden clouds. And then we see the gray haze right here. All this off-white gray crap is the chemtrail haze, which is sprayed above the water vapor to prevent the lift. So these aerosols cap the atmosphere, and that prevents the lift in the atmosphere. So we have to have two components for precipitation. We see that that natural water vapor, these clouds, these brilliant white clouds. So we have to have two components for precipitation for rain. We have to have lift in the atmosphere, and we have to have moisture in the atmosphere. So we've got the moisture moving in, but the lift has been canceled out by these chemtrails, which are sprayed over. And this is one of the tools in the toolbox that are used to manipulate our weather. So we have the chemtrails, we have the ground-based WSR 88D transmitters, and then we have the satellite transmitters, which are manipulating storms like Rosa right here. We can see that there's a big void. This should be basically a uniform area of moisture surrounding that low-pressure center. And so what we see here is high pressure right there adjacent to the center. That is not only weakening the storm, but it's pushing it in a northeast direction. Now, if you look at the map, the surface map here, we see the drawing here. We've got Rosa right there. We see those closely spaced isobars. This is generating about 25-foot seas out there. And then we have a low pressure right over the Four Corners area. And we have a high pressure area installed right in this area. That will prevent the northbound movement of this storm, and that's why it's starting to move. It is moving to the northeast. This is the surface map. Let's look at the 500 millibar map. We see a closed low right there. We've got a closed low right out here. This is a dual low pressure system. We've got two opportunities for rain, and instead we're getting sprayed like rats and cockroaches. We see the squiggly lines here in the 500 millibar map. That indicates varying degrees of high and low pressure mixed together by these transmitters that are forcing descending air into this area. Let's look at the 300 millibar map, and we can see, look at this. This is the center of the storm right there, and look at this isobar, how it hooks back. You've got basically a right angle right there, and then we see all these squiggly lines. So this is descending air being forced into the center of this former hurricane. 300 millibar map represents the 30,000 foot level. And so we're seeing manipulation here on this map. We've got a closed low out here, which should be dumping some rain here in the next day or two as this moves to the east. This should be, everything in the northern hemisphere should be moving to the east. All the weather. So this storm has been manipulated. We see these crazy looking isobars. Everything in all these isobars should be smooth flowing lines like we're seeing up here pretty much. Okay. All right, so we see the transmitter manipulation offshore of San Francisco. That's straight edge. If you've never seen Pillar Point, just look it up. It's run by the U.S. Air Force. And of course, these ground-based transmitters are also managed by the Department of Defense, which until recently were all classified under the Obama era regulations and classifications. Climate change has now been declassified because of the evidence being presented showing that this is nothing more than man-made manipulation of our weather. While we run a gambling operation on Wall Street, a weather derivatives gambling operation. That's what's going on, and that's why these programs were classified in order to cover up and get people to shut up and not talk. But and this is another reason why these maps are not shown on television. People would figure out what's going on. Okay, so that's it. We're just going to leave it right here, and you can see that basically a right angle right there. This is where the high pressure is being installed. And we'll do another update here real soon. That's it.